Welcome to Kingdom Conversations, where faith meets community. Join us as we delve into current events that matter to you. Hear inspiring human interest stories that uplift and connect us. Enjoy insightful interviews with leaders and changemakers. Hosted by Pastor Colin Zadays, your guide through Kingdom Conversations. Let's explore our kingdom together in every episode.
Today we want to deal with the church of Smyrna. Revelation chapter 2, beginning at verse 8, the text reads, "And unto the angel of the church in Smyrna write, These things saith the first and the last, which was dead, and is alive. I know thy works, and tribulation, and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give you the crown of life. He that hath an ear, let him hear. But the Spirit saith of the churches, He that overcometh shall not be hurt by the second death." This morning at 8 o'clock, I dealt with verse 8 and 9. 9 in particular, "I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich." And I dealt with the subject, "Thou art rich." Today I want to concentrate on verse 10. "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. Ye shall have tribulation 10 days, but be faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life." I want to talk about this morning the suffering church. The suffering church. My brothers and sisters, I know that many of us are going through things, dealing with issues and trials in your life. And I know it's not easy. Sometimes storms come and storms seem to stay a while. They're not fleeting storms that you have some rain and wind, some lightning and thunder for a few minutes, and then the day breaks. Sometimes trouble breaks a tent. Sometimes it stays a while. And we have to bear up in trouble and trial and wonder whether God remembers us in these turbulent times. The text is interesting because even though, unlike the church at Ephesus, when God tells them all the wonderful things that the church at Ephesus had done, great works that it had done, God commends them of all of their faithfulness, He then gives a condemnation. Says in the church at Ephesus, "But I have something against you, because you have left your first love." And that undermined every good thing that the Lord said about them, that one thing, leaving the first love. Jesus said unto the church, "You don't love me like you used to." But the church at Smyrna, He does not have a condemnation. He commends them. He doesn't. Matter of fact, it was really close to being almost the ideal church. But before you decide you want to leave second and go and join the church at Smyrna, one thing you need to know, that Smyrna was a suffering church. You read the text, it is wonderful condemnation, wonderful commendation that the Lord gives to them and tells them and promises them that they will have the crown of life. He talks about the meantime. My brothers and sisters, I think that's the hardest time to be in any situation within the meantime, the time of good and the time of bad, the time of bad and the time of good, that in-between time that you're in trouble and the time of deliverance. How do you handle in the meantime? Here is a church that Jesus says in the opening verses, he says, I know your works, I know your tribulation, and I know your poverty. And he does not give an end to the poverty. What he does is give a forecast of more tribulation, more trial, more poverty, and some of you will be cast into prison. He gives a prophetic warning that it's not going to get better anytime soon. Matter of fact, it's going to get worse. Yes. Who wants to hear from God, who you've been praying to for deliverance and relief? And instead of giving a word of deliverance, he gives a word of warning. It's going to be worse before it gets better. But don't you know that's how life is? Sometimes it gets worse before it gets better. You don't believe me, you watch the news and you watch our administration, and sometimes it just keeps getting worse. See, y'all know, for some of y'all, I got Doberman pictures. If you're going to have a dog, might as well have a big, bad dog. I know I see some of y'all walking little foo-foo dogs. When the robber comes, he don't give that little dog no attention, just slap his side. Hey, you come at me, I got something to handle you. But I don't care how bad the dog is, you put him on a short chain. And all you got to do, he can go so far and no more. And God is saying that to your life, he said, I'm going to limit what the devil does to you. The devil is not going to be able to destroy you. The devil is not going to be able to mess with your life when you can't make a comeback. He said, I'm going to limit what the devil does. I'm going to put this is what he said. I'm putting a time limit on what the devil does. And I'm also going to limit in terms of not only how long, but what the devil can do. Y'all remember that man in the Old Testament by the name of Job? The Bible says the devil came looking and God started bragging on Job and says, if you're coming and going, the Lord asked the devil, where you been? The devil didn't tell him exactly where he been. He said, I just been walking to and fro the earth. What the devil should have said, I've been walking to Dave's house, and I've been walking to Far's house, and I've been looking in the windows trying to get in. He said, have you ever found anybody like Job? He said, no. He said, no, in all the land. He said, and the devil said, the only reason that Job worships you is because you won't let me touch him. He said, if you let me touch him, I'll make him curse you. God said, well, go ahead. But I'm going to put some limitations on it. I want you to know that you've got a great opportunity to give God some glory. In the situation you're going through and the circumstances you're dealing with, and all the opposition that you're facing, God just wants to say, I want you to give me some glory in it. Because I'm going to put a limit on what the devil can do to you. Said 10 days. 10 days you're going to have tribulation. 10 days you're going to suffer. 10 days they're going to put you in jail. You know, I think I can handle it when God puts a limit on it. You get sick, God said, don't worry about it. In 10 days, you'll be all right. I don't care what kind of pain you got. You'll bear it. You'll suffer it because you'll keep looking to the end of the suffering. I want you to know that God has already orchestrated your destiny, and I'm almost done because God has given you a purpose and plan for your life. That becomes the challenge because God has an anointing and purpose and plan for your life. The devil is trying to come after you. If you didn't have purpose and plan, you wouldn't be challenged the way that you are because you are gifted by God, because God has given you a divine assignment, because you're going to make a difference in this world. That's why the devil is coming after you in the first place. And y'all just missed another good thing. It is. But how do you sustain? How do you persevere through the suffering that will come, that you're already going through, that you're already dealing with? Look at the text. He says you're going to have tribulation, you're going to have trouble, you're going to have great suffering. He says you might be cast into prison. And he says, but I'm going to put the devil on a short chain. I'm going to limit what the devil can do to each one of you. And the reason he says, because I already know how much you can handle. And not only do I know how much you can handle, but I also know how long you can stand it. And I want you to know, if you're already in it, God already has an expiration date. You know, my mama used to say it this way. She wasn't no theologian. Mama went to 6th grade. Mama used to say, trouble don't last always. So you can handle it. All you got to do is stand in there a little while longer. Jesus told us how we can handle it. He said, he already knows. He said, I know your trouble. I know your tribulation. I know your affliction. I know your work. I know your poverty. I know that suffering is going to last a little while longer. And he says, I even know because I'm omniscient. He said, I know your enemy's plan. And I want you to know I already worked out your deliverance. And I already took every plan of the devil, every trick of the devil, every ambushment of the devil, every pressure the devil's going to put on you, and every trial and every affliction and every pain he's going to cause, and everything that he set up for you. I took all of those things, and I know what he meant to do, but I manipulated. I took those things and I rearranged it that those things the devil meant for your evil, I turned around and made it for your good. I made it so that everything that is working, that I cause everything to work together for your good. Somebody ought to shout that. I don't know how God's going to turn it. I don't know how God's going to use the pain. I don't know how God is going to use the attack. But the text says he's going to turn it around. God's going to manipulate it. That what the devil meant for evil, God's going to use it for good. Everything the devil thought was going to destroy you is going to make you stronger. Every trick he tried in your life is going to make you wiser. Everything he thought was going to make you turn your back on God made you come to church this morning in spite of your trouble, in spite of your heartache, in spite of your disappointment, in spite of your brokenness. You still got a praise in you. Oh, I wish somebody who can testify say, I still got praise. I got another praise in here. I don't care what the devil does to me tomorrow. I got another praise. I'm going to stand and I'm going to wait and I'm going to depend on God because God has never failed me. God has never let me down. God has always been there. He made me a promise. I'll never leave you. No, but I forsake you. Can I get somebody in here who can say, I'm still here? Never thought it had me, but I'm still here. He thought I was going to give up, thought I was going to quit, thought I was going to throw in the towel, but I'm still here. Because nobody can do me like Jesus. There's nowhere else to go. Nobody else to trust. No one else to depend on. Go hold on to Jesus. Can I get somebody in here to testify? Go hold on to Jesus. Because there's nobody. I said there's nobody who can do me like the Lord. Is the Lord all right? I said, is the Lord all right? I may have troubles. I may be in the storm. I may have sickness in my body. May not know where tomorrow's rent coming from. But I know I can trust in Him. I can trust in God. Because He said, I'll never leave you alone. Somebody say, yes, yes, yes. Welcome, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Kingdom Conversations. We're really grateful to have you with us this afternoon, and we thank you that you thought not robbery to be with us once again. We have a wonderful program today. We have some wonderful guests that we're going to that's going to be sharing with us tonight, because we know that we're in the throes of an election, a very, very important election, and as we look at all of those things that impact the kingdom of God, we know that elections and participating in the body politic is extremely important. And so we have some candidates that's going to be sharing with us tonight. We're going to have with us tonight Dr. Marcellus. Jonathan Marcellus is going to be with us. He is running in District 4 for Commissioner for Atlantic County, and we are grateful to have him in the studio. And we're also going to have Sherry Parmenter, who's going to be with us, and she's running for the position of surrogate. Yeah, that's what it is, surrogate. I almost said solicitor, surrogate, and she's going to be with us today as well. But we want to welcome with us now our first guest, Dr. Jonathan Marcellus, and so welcome to Kingdom Conversation.
It's good to be here. It's a great pleasure. It's an honor.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Jonathan. I know that you have, Dr. Jonathan Marcellus, that you are, you work here in Atlantic City. You've been here part of the community for a long time. So tell us a little bit about you and who you are. So just in case somebody may not know you, we know you've been campaigning very vigorously in District 4, and you have been working in the community in Atlantic County for a number of years. But let's hear it from you.
Thank you again for the opportunity, Reverend Days. As you have already mentioned, my name is Jonathan A. Marcellus. I'm a native of Haiti, and I immigrated into the United States in 1990. And I became a United States citizen in 1999. And I got married to my lovely wife for over 28 years, and we have two great sons. And I've been here in Atlantic County for over 28 years. And this country overall has given me some great opportunities. I came here as a young kid. I started washing dishes. That's my first job. That's exactly how I can relate to people who are struggling. And you just come to the country with a PhD title behind me. You have to work hard to earn that. But one thing, just to make the story a bit shorter, I worked very hard, and I've earned I started going to college when I was after high school, after becoming legal in this country, 100% legal. I started going to college while I was working as a dishwasher in the morning and going to college at night. I mean, while I ended up dating my wife, and we ended up getting married and dropping out of college and starting a family. But the thing is, we moved to Atlantic City. I moved to Atlantic City area in Atlantic County in 1997 after we got married. I used to live in North Jersey, in Essex County, that's where my family is, my siblings, my aunt. That's where we were. But my wife wasn't in Pleasantville at the time, so we moved to Absecon. So while being married, working in the casinos, I started as a security guard. So I went from hard work, getting promoted from security to housekeeping supervisor, and to food and beverage supervisors and restaurant shift manager. And while I was doing that, that's when I went back to college. I went back to Fairleigh Dickinson and earned both my bachelor and master's degree in hospitality, because that's the field I was in. That's where my vision was at the time, to get ahead in the hospitality industry. And after earning my master's degree, I realized that I wanted to earn more knowledge. So I continued to school. I went back to Walden University when I was in Walden there. I earned another master of philosophy degree, and also a PhD in management, with concentration of leadership and organizational change. But while doing all of those things, I realized that I wasn't growing where I was in the casino. I wasn't where I needed to be. So then I tried to go to other places that were unsuccessful. So I realized it was from actually many friends of mine, many friends I had at the time suggested, and family also suggested that I go on my own, open my own company. So in 2014, I became an entrepreneur, opened my own company.
Oh, fantastic. And so your company is located here in Atlantic City?
That's right.
And so that company is?
It's Marcellus Integrity Multi-Services LLC, which is primarily a tax prep, accounting, and business consulting firm. And we've been in business for about 11 years now. And we've been thank God, it's been successful, is paying their bills, putting my kids for college. We've been doing very well in this business. I haven't looked back since then. So,
Oh, that is fantastic. That you have, you know the common touch. You know how to progress, entrepreneur. So what makes and you're running for District 4. Tell us what District 4, what cities compose District 4.
well, District 4, we have Galloway Township, the entire Galloway Township. We have Brigantine. We have Park Republic. And there are 4 precincts in Edgar Bay Township, which are precincts 10, 14, 15, and 16. So these are that's part of these are actually District 4 I'm running for, and that's where I've been campaigning as well heavily, trying to win this election. So
Now you're also a part of Mount Zion Baptist Church as well. And how long have you been a part of Mount Zion, where my good friend Reb McLaurin is the pastor, and do you serve in any capacity at Mount Zion?
yes, I've been going to Mount Zion since 2002, end of 2002, for almost over 22 years now. And I was appointed by Reverend Dr. Winfield Sanders as a trustee in 2005. So for more than 20 years now, I've been a trustee at Mount Zion. And now I serve there. I've earned some good experience as a trustee, even in terms of budgeting, things like that. Although I already had the business background, I was in the casinos as a supervisor, but being on the trustee board, you have a more in-depth and hands-on kind of work, in terms of the budget of the church, and that's also important in terms of what I'm running for as a county commissioner. So I've been very blessed to let me put it this way. I think God has used me as I am to serve as a trustee at Mount Zion. And that's a wonderful thing. It is also a way for me to serve my community on a faith basis, to give back to my community in Pleasantville, New Jersey.
So as a Christian, why do you think it's important for you to get involved in politics? And tell us why you think that. What's your reasoning for running for District 4 for commissioner for Atlantic County?
I think that's a great question. There are people usually look at politics and politicians in the wrong way. And I think I rather call myself a man of God before I call myself a Christian, which I am a Christian. But I think when you have God in you, you will govern in a way that will do good for the people. And I've seen many cases where politicians kind of are serving themselves. And I think especially if it is a call from God for me to serve on this capacity, I think I can make a difference for many reasons. And number one, I came from humble beginning, and so Washington DC used to be where I am. We're earning several degrees, including 3 master's degrees and a PhD. And I can relate when somebody tells me I cannot pay my bills. But the thing is, I have decided to run for Atlantic County Commissioner because I've seen, being in the Atlantic County for 28 years, I have seen that things have not gone in the right direction. So even like recently, I went to ShopRite with like $94 worth of groceries. There was nothing in that bag for $94 compared to even 10 years ago. Even 10 years ago, $94 in ShopRite, you could have gotten a lot of things on that cart. And the cost of living, higher energy, even in my office in Atlantic City, where my company is headquartered, gas bills, it has gone up. Electric bills has gone up compared to 11 years when I started. So we have people in power, and I don't feel like things are going in the right move. I think it's time to step up to change the people. We have different visions, so eventually to make a difference in the people for Atlantic County in District 4, especially where I live there. I live in Galloway Township, which is part of my district. So everything that I'm talking about impacts me and my own family. So my reasoning for running is to make a difference economically for the people of Atlantic County in District 4, and to turn things around in a different direction than where we've been going.
Well, I know you have a great deal of skill sets. So what, out of all the things that you do and all the, the training that you've had, what do you think is going to make the most difference with your skill set on the Board of Commissioners for Atlantic County?
Well, I think as a tax professional, as a financial person, we also earn a master's degree in taxation. So we have a more in-depth knowledge in terms of of budgeting for the county, and I think that would be a plus. My experience itself at Mount Zion, that's a great asset, I believe, that could be beneficial to the county. And my training as a scholar, as even a PhD in management and leadership in organizational change, you learn the research. I've earned the research skills to help me implement better research for the county to make it go forward. I think those are some of the skills that will help me be a positive force in Atlantic County on the county board of commissioners. And I believe, most importantly, I have God in my life. I have God in me that will guide me. With the Spirit of the Lord in me, that will help me do even greater things for the people, I believe.
Well, is this your first time running for a public office? As you know, this is my first time as well. We're running on the same ticket, county-wise, as a Democrat for county commissioner. I'm just fortunate that I'm filling the unexpired term of our good friend Ernest Coursey, who passed away, and it's been a very interesting opportunity and interesting work serving on the county commissioner as a county commissioner, and I look forward to having you on board as well, working with us in that endeavor. So, is this your first time running for political office and in Atlanta for any public political office or public office? And tell me, how is that experience? Because I know you've been out just like I have been. Because even though I'm serving on the board of commissioners now, I am also running for election. I'm just fulfilling the unexpired term of our good friend Ernest Coursey. And so this has been a very interesting experience for me. Tell me about your experiences and how you've been received in District 4.
Well, it's been a very, I would say, very interesting experience. It's hard work for sure, knocking on doors. I'm a hard worker, and I can say that, especially running a business and campaigning at the same time, and having a family too, because in the cases, my wife doesn't see me as much as she would like to, so that's hard. But it's also, to me, it's also very, it can be rewarding. We'll see on November 4th, because the people I've been talking to, overall, they enjoy the fact that I come see them. I come knock on their doors and ask them for their vote and present their vision, present my vision to them. So in that sense, it's very, I think it's full, in a sense, it makes you feel good that people care, people want to hear what you have to say. And because in some cases, when they say that, a lot of times I go to vote, I don't know who that person is. I can put your face with your name. So you get my vote, and you are here doing it. And in many cases I'm by myself doing it too. So, and that kind of motivates them to support me. So it's hard work for sure. It's something I've never done before. Because you have, on top of running a business, I have other responsibility with my own family, with my own wife, my own children, and my own household. But it's a great experience for sure to be in District 4 and running, especially alongside my running mates. And the good thing, I met so many other people who know some of my people who are on the same ticket with me. And when I meet those people, like they always say, I know Sherry. Yeah, I know that. Oh, yeah, I know. I say, yeah, she's on the school board. So that makes me feel good to know those people who say, I didn't know Sherry. I say to myself, we got to chat with those people. They're going to vote for us, so they know Sherry. So yes, it's really it's a great experience. It's a great experience.
How about tell us, because we know that this election is very important, especially in New Jersey on the national level as relates to the gubernatorial race. Only two gubernatorial races in the country, Virginia and New Jersey. And it's the barometer or the litmus test for the rest of the nation as it relates to elections. How important is it for people to get out and vote? We know that the mail-in ballots are already out. Early voting is getting ready to start not too long from now. How important is it for everyone to get out to vote? And what would you say to the voters today?
Well, I say to people, everybody, not just for District 4, for Atlantic County or throughout the country or anywhere there are elections, and things are not great. Cost of living is high, housing is high. Even apartments going back 28 years ago, the same apartment my wife and I had like for $700 is $2,200. It's $2,200 right now, and cost and energy bill. So we have to change. We have to change people. We have to vote to change the direction of the county or wherever we are, or the state, to make few things are affordable again. So this election is very crucial for especially District 4 where I'm running, and for everywhere in Atlantic County or throughout the state. So I really urge everyone to go out and vote, and to make their voices heard, so they can make a difference. Because and the thing is, I believe there are enough people to do that. And in time after time, we've been our party, Democratic Party, has been losing election after election because people don't turn out. So I think it's very, very important for us to turn out in this election cycle, so we can turn the direction of our county. So not only I can get elected, our running mates, the governors can be successful as well, and you can be successful, and Sherry and Victoria, all of us on the tickets, in the city council, the mayoral races, we need to vote. So it's important that people come out and vote to make your voices heard. Sometimes people think my vote doesn't really matter. We're gonna lose anyway, and that's not true. Sometimes we win by like a couple of votes, like 10 votes, 15 votes. So your vote does matter. People's votes matter. So we hope people come out, and I really encourage them to do that.
We want to thank you so much, Dr. Marcellus, for coming out. Really quality candidate, someone who has the experience, who has the training, who has expertise. And we are really grateful and thank you for taking the time to come and to share. And if you are in District 4, look for him at your door, because he has been very proactive and very diligent in getting out and making sure that you know who he is, know what his platform is. And we want to thank you for sharing with us today. Do you have any parting words you'd like to say to the listening audience?
Well, I thank you first, Reverend Days, for the opportunity to be on the radio show, and I thank the listeners or the audience for listening to the show, and I really hope to earn your vote this November. And thank you again.
Thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. And now we are grateful for our next guest who is with us today.
Hello, my name is Reverend Collins Days, the pastor of the Second Baptist Church in Atlantic City, New Jersey. If you're looking for a church home, a place to reconnect, a great place of fellowship, join us at Second Baptist Church here in Atlantic City, where everyone is welcome and the love of Christ is alive. Our Sunday worship services are 8 a.m., 11 a.m., and don't miss our evening 7 p.m. hour of power, a dynamic time of praise, worship, and encouragement. Midweek, refuel your spirit with corporate prayer. Wednesday at 11 a.m., Newsday service at 12 p.m., Bible study at 7 p.m. We're located 110 Reverend Dr. I.S. Cole Plaza, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Call us 609-348-3580 or email us at secondbaptistac@gmail.com. Please come. We're looking forward to having you. You'll never be the same. Find us, if you like, on Facebook or YouTube, and we'll see you at Second Baptist. Exciting news from Second Baptist Church in Atlantic City. Giving just got easier. We now offer convenient online giving options to support the ministry anytime and anywhere. Simply visit Linktree Second Baptist AC, linktree.ee/SECONDBAPTISTAC, or scan the QR code to get started. Don't forget to include your tithe number and designation, whether it's tithes, offerings, missions, or more. And thank you again for your generosity and faithful stewardship. SBC Giving, online giving made easy.
Our next guest on Kingdom Conversations is a candidate for Atlantic County Surrogate, and I know many of you may not know what a surrogate is and what their role and responsibility. You're going to find out today what a surrogate is and why it's important that we have representation from the community and from this side of the aisle. And we're really grateful to have as one of my running mates, Dr. Sherry Parmenter, who's with us today. And so we're going to get all those questions answered, and we're going to find out who she is and what her platform is for the surrogate. Welcome to Kingdom Conversations, Dr. Parmenter.
Thank you, Reverend Days, for the invitation. I was delighted to receive it last night. So, surrogate. The surrogate in Atlantic County is the office that receives wills, estates, adoptions, and guardianships of incapacitated persons. the surrogate's office handles the probating of wills. Why is that important? Because people can't move forward. Your surviving family members or whoever you bequeath your possessions to cannot move forward on your estate unless your will, if you have a will, is probated. And if you don't have a will, you still need to go through the surrogate's office, because then you have to get letters of administration. You have to have something to process the estate. So that's why the surrogate's office is so important. So I noticed that my opponent has a billboard and it says, "Here when you need us." Well, that's all fine and dandy, but I don't think that we should wait until you need the surrogate's office. You need to be proactive. People need to have wills. Anybody that has possessions needs to determine where they want their things to go after their demise. And so you do that in the form of a will. You have many different types of wills, but a will is a legal document that the testator, that's the person who is making the will, the testator decides who is going to inherit their property and how they're going to inherit it. And so that's important because you need to know where your stuff is going to go after you're gone, and you need to decide where it goes after you're gone. So why wait? Why not pre-plan and have a will? A lot of people I've noticed lately do not have wills. And to me, that is just not acceptable, especially as we start aging, because death is a certainty. So you need to start planning for the distribution of your property after you're gone. I've had a will most of my life. I had a will at 21. I did not have anything, but I had a will. And the few things that I had, I decided where they were going to go. As I aged, I upgraded my will because I started to acquire a few more things. So I changed my will at 25. I got another will at 30. When I had a child, I got another will. And in one of my best wills, which I still use to this day, I had a trust inserted within the will. And what the trust did was it provided provisions for my minor child at that time. Should I die, it provided funds for her and the way that she would receive the funds. It was broken down into when she turned 18, when she turned 21, 25, 30, 35, and 40. And she got the major part of the distribution of the estate when she turned 40, because young people at 18, 21, 25 typically run through any funds that they get rapidly. And the older you get, the more secure you get within your life. You start to build a family. That's when you start thinking a lot more realistically. So that's when she started getting more funding.
Can I just jump in just for a second? Because what you're saying is so important as it relates to wills, and that we need to be mindful. You sound like a preacher talking about the certainty of death, but you're trying to jump into my role. But you're absolutely right that we ought to be mindful of those things, because it saves a whole lot of family drama, especially if you have multiple children or relatives. But it also, it just, as it relates to your own business, then you know that your wishes are being done. Is that a role of the surrogate's office? And you talked a little bit about that. Does the surrogate office now provide help with wills or sample wills for the community?
The surrogate's office does not provide legal advice, but they do have at least one sample will. There are documents there that you could go get, but if I were elected surrogate, I would have more than one sample will. I would have various types of wills. I'm not going to say everything because I don't want my opponent to steal my great ideas, but I would have a multitude of samples that would be free and would be online. And what I would do to make sure the public knew about it is I would have public service announcements telling people, we have sample wills that are free online. Go to www.whatever.gov and look at these sample wills. And the reason why that's so important, and thank you for bringing that up, Reverend Dace, the reason why it's so important, especially in our community, is that we need to keep trying to build generational wealth for our families. And so that's one way to do it, to safeguard your assets and help keep what's in our family. And even with our businesses that we might pass down to our children, we want to make sure that our things are designated to go to where they need to go to, and how they're passed. And so if you have these different sample wills, let me back up. If you have a simple will, then maybe your average person could go ahead and use that as a template. But you might want to go to a lawyer, and that's well and good too. But having sample wills will give you an idea of what you need to do, how to protect your assets. And you can look at, and then you can determine, do I need a lawyer? You may or may not. If you have a complicated estate, absolutely you need a lawyer. If you have a simple estate, you might absolutely need a lawyer too, just to protect your frame of mind and to make sure, doubly sure, that your possessions are going the way you want them to go. But trust and believe, the sample wills would be, once they were executed, they would be legal and binding documents.
But one of the other things that not only you mentioned earlier is not only wills, but you also work with adoptions as well. And I think that's one of the very important. I've been a part of people's adoptions and going through the process. So tell us a little about that in terms of what the role of the surrogate in adoptions.
The role of the surrogate is very simple. They just basically process the adoption. So it would be the filing of the adoption, collecting the filing fee. If there are motions, they would handle the motions, and it would just move through that way. But that's kind of cut and dry with adoptions. The major function that they do is wills and estates. And like I said, if you don't have a will, letters of administration.
Okay. Now, one of the things we didn't do, we jumped right into what the surrogate was, and we didn't find out who Dr. Parmenter is. So let's tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're running.
Okay. Well, the reason why I'm running is because I feel it's time for a change. I feel it's time for a change. The current surrogate has been there for 15 years, and it's just time for a change. The cultural climate has changed, and so I think it's time for a woman to be in this office. It's time for a Black woman to be in this office, especially me, because court systems, and the surrogate's office is a court system, they're not very warm and inviting. The atmosphere needs to change in the court system, especially the surrogate's office, because people that go there are apprehensive because they're going there about something that's very sensitive. Either it's a wills and estate problem, a probate problem, an adoption problem, guardianship of an incapacitated adult, or settlement for a minor child. So everything is very sensitive. And I believe that the surrogate's office needs to have people there who welcome the public in and who warmly greet the public. And not to say that they don't do it already, but I just think that customer service needs to be the pinnacle of the surrogate's office. And I bring that because I found out in my doctoral program, I had to take a deep dive into myself, into who I am and why I am, and what type of leader I am. And I found through reflection, deep reflection, that I am a feminist. And that doesn't mean that I am all about women's rights. A feminist leader means that I am a nurturer. That's the type of leader you will need to have in a surrogate's office because of the sensitive matters that come before it. I'm a social justice leader. I believe in fighting for the underdog. And a lot of times people that do not have wills, they're the ones we need to reach out to try to protect them. I am also a servant leader. I found that out by accident. I knew that I was social justice. I knew kind of that I was a feminist. But the servant leader, I found out kind of by accident. I have done a lot of community service work. I did one thing with the Atlantic County Superior Court with the Juvenile Conference Committee. I did that for almost 25 years, every month for 25 years. And then they stopped because of COVID. And then I volunteered with the food bank. And then I volunteered with the American Red Cross. And then I'm in two national sororities where everything we do is about service to the community. And I realized that I like helping people. I like helping people, and I especially like helping people navigate systems. And that's what I've been doing with the JCC, help the juveniles navigate that system. With the food bank, I help people who had food insecurities navigate how to get food outside of not having the funds to pay for them, but getting them legally. And working with the American Red Cross, I help people understand all the things that the American Red Cross does. I had no idea until I volunteered that the American Red Cross is only 5% paid employees. Everybody else is a volunteer. And they have a place for any occupation in the world within the Red Cross. And in my service organizations, I have helped people navigate educational systems. Example, in my doctoral program, I took a lot of classes in higher education administration. And I paid close attention because there are a lot of things about college admissions and college retention and college graduation that the average person doesn't know. And I paid attention because I want to be able to help people. As a result, I have helped people navigate financial aid assistance. I even had one lady call me and said, "You don't know me, but your cousin told me to call you because my daughter needs help getting her financial aid back." I was able to help her because I know how to navigate that tricky system. The same with the surrogate's office. My mother passed, it'll be 10 years next month that she passed. And I was named as one of the executors of her estate. And I had the task of going and probating her will at the surrogate's office. It wasn't that difficult for me because I was familiar with the legal system. But my brother and my sister perhaps would have been unable to do that because that's a system that most people don't know how to navigate. But I was able to do it fairly easily.
Now, excuse me, I'm sorry. Just when we talk about the surrogate's office and the surrogate's a county-wide office you have to run. You know, District 1, I just have just the Absecon Island. You have the entire county. Dr. Marcellus has District 4, and so he has 4 or 5 cities and parts of other townships. But you have the whole county. How is that running? And I know you've run for the school boards, on the school board. How is that now, not just running in a particular city, but running for the entire 27 municipalities of Atlantic County?
I don't find it much different than running for the school board, except it's just a wider reach. It's a wider audience. So I've taken steps to let people know in the various communities who I am. But it's the same premise. You have to get out. You have to let people know who you are. So we have signs out everywhere. And I've gone to several Meet the Candidate nights, and I've introduced myself. I said who I am, what I stand for, where I come from, and what I would do in the surrogate's office. And that's for the county, not just for Pleasantville, Atlantic City, Galloway, but for the county, because people are people.
Now, I know so many people in the community know you already because you've done so many things. You're part of so many different organizations. But tell us in a nutshell who you are and, you know, what part of the community. You already named some other things, but, I was at a school not too long ago, an opening school with some men as we welcomed the students back, and I saw you at that school. So tell us a little bit about what you do now. We're really grateful. We have some really great candidates with a tremendous skill set, very educated, very diverse candidates. It's probably one of the best set of candidates we've had, and we're really proud of all of you and all the accomplishments you made. But tell us something about you personally that they may not know about you and our listening audience.
Okay, I grew up in Pleasantville. Both of my parents were professionals. My mother was a first grade teacher. My father worked for FAA Tech Center. He was a systems analyst. I have a brother and a sister. I have a daughter and a granddaughter who's the light of my life. I moved to Atlanta when I got out of college to declare my independence from my parents. And while I was there, I went to law school. Then I stayed for about 10 years and I came back home. And my mother, who was a teacher, told me I needed to do a career change. She said, you need to become a teacher because you need to be out of school when your child's out of school and working when your child's working. And so I thought about it, and within 6 months, I was a teacher, and I never looked back. And I currently live in Galloway with my daughter and my granddaughter. I am a school teacher. I teach first grade in Atlantic City. I love the little kids. It's a lot of fun. I have always taught in primarily urban districts. And what else about me? I have a great sense of humor.
Okay, I know it. I know your sense of humor. Now, you just going back to the surrogate's office, and you said you went to law school. Is it a requirement for the surrogate to have a law degree?
No, it is not. It's not required for the surrogate to have a law degree or to be a lawyer. The only requirement is that the surrogate is elected by the public.
That's interesting. So there's no law degree requirement for the surrogate's office, but we're really, and so the surrogate now, as you said, has been the same surrogate for the last 15 years. You talked about a lot of what you would bring to the table. What would you change about the surrogate's office in particular if you we're hoping that you're elected in November 4th?
The main thing I would bring would be transparency. I would tell people how to protect their assets for their families, because that's what most people work for. They're working for things to save for their kids. So my thing would be public service, community service, and public outreach. I would go to all the different parts of the county and let people know about the different forms sample wills that would be available online. I would do public service announcements to make sure that people were aware of what they could do. I would go to the high schools. Well, actually, I would try to partner with the different school districts in Atlantic County for their high school and their middle school to see about putting something about the surrogate's office in the civics education plan.
Now, you please tell, and we asked Dr. Marcellus to talk about it as well, how important it is for people to get out to vote and how they should be encouraging. Can you give some encouragement to our voters about how important it is to get out and vote this election?
This is probably the most consequential election that we're going to have outside of the midterms, which are rapidly approaching. The vote is critical for the state of New Jersey. We cannot have column A win. We just cannot. If we want to protect our democracy, if we want to protect our rights, if we want to preserve the things that we already have and not have them taken away with barely a whimper, we have to vote column B. It's critical. It's absolutely critical because we don't know what's coming down the road. The man running for governor, they say he's pure MAGA. What are they doing right now? The government is shut down. The federal government is shut down right now as we speak. That's crazy. We don't know how long it's going to be shut down. They say he's pure MAGA. What if he becomes governor and shuts down the state? What are we going to do then? We never recovered from Superstorm Sandy, not this area. North Jersey might have recovered, but Atlantic County did not ever fully recover from Superstorm Sandy, nor did we fully recover from the recession of 2007, 2008. We have to vote blue all the way through. That's the only way we're going to get out of this mess that we're in right now.
Well, I really appreciate you coming. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for running for a surrogate, and thank you for, out of all that you do, you invested your time and energy and all of your skills to run for a surrogate. We want to thank you for being a part of the team. Can you please give us some closing remarks? What would you say to all of the voters out there tonight?
My closing remarks are this. Think about how the federal Department of Education is being shuttered. Think about if we get column A in power after this election. So right now, special ed is under fire. School lunches are under fire for kids. Free lunch is under fire for kids. We have all after-school programs are under fire for kids. Title I programs are under fire for kids. Protect your children. Protect our economy. Protect our state. You have to vote blue. You just have to vote blue because these things are going to go away. And once they go away, you're not going to get them back. So please vote blue. And with that, I humbly ask for your support.
Thank you so much, Dr. Parmenter. We are also grateful for, again, for your skill set, your talent. Thank you for making this commitment to run. And thank you for coming and being a part of Kingdom Conversations. We want to make sure that all of our listening audience, that they are informed about what's going on and who's running. And we're grateful that you have been a part of this as well as we think. We are really grateful again for Dr. Marcellus for coming and being a part today as well. Thank you so much. And we are looking forward to November 4th and win all the way down column B.
My name is Reverend Collins Days, the pastor of the Second Baptist Church in Atlantic City, New Jersey. If you're looking for a church home, a place to reconnect, a great place of fellowship, join us at Second Baptist Church here in Atlantic City, where everyone is welcome and the love of Christ is alive. Our Sunday worship services are 8 a.m., 11 a.m., and don't miss our evening 7 p.m. hour of power, a dynamic time of praise, worship, and encouragement. Midweek, refuel your spirit with corporate prayer. Wednesday at 11 a.m., Newsday service at 12 p.m., Bible study at 7 p.m. We're located 110 Reverend Dr. I.S. Cole Plaza, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Call us 609-348-3580 or email us at secondbaptistac@gmail.com. Please come. We're looking forward to having you. You'll never be the same. Find us, if you like, on Facebook or YouTube, and we'll see you at Second Baptist. Exciting news from Second Baptist Church, Atlantic City. Giving just got easier. We now offer convenient online giving options to support the ministry anytime and anywhere. simply visit Linktree Second Baptist AC, linktr.ee/SECONDBAPTISTAC, or scan the QR code to get started. Don't forget to include your tithe number and designation, whether it's tithes, offerings, missions, or more. And thank you again for your generosity and faithful stewardship. SBC Giving, online giving made easy.
And that wraps up another powerful episode of Kingdom Conversations, where faith meets life and purpose is revealed. We pray today's dialogue stirred your spirit, sparked your thinking, and strengthened your walk with God. Remember, the kingdom is not just a place where we're going, it's a way of living here and now. So stay rooted in the Word, stay connected in the community, and stay bold in your faith. If this episode blessed you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join the conversation online and help us spread the kingdom message far and wide. Until next time, keep seeking, keep growing, keep walking in kingdom purpose. God bless you, and we'll see you next time on Kingdom Conversations.